welcome.
Thank you.
You're good? You're on?
Yep.
Very good. Very
Thank you.
good. Awesome. So Meredith actually comes to church here. This is what's really great, and she joins the discussion all the time. So Meredith, let people who maybe aren't familiar with Caridad, let them know what's the mission of Caridad, and then how is that lived out by you and your
Sure.
teams?
Our mission for Caridad is to humanize the homeless. And so how that looks is we provide street-based outreach, but it's customer service street-based outreach. I tell people we're like a homeless concierge service. So we are VIPs. I train them in VIP service, my team, to give great customer service. So whatever it is they need in their case plan, we try to help them. And then beyond that, if they qualify for Social Security disability benefits, we do that with them, and we were the first agency to do that actually out in the streets, even to the point that we take down barriers. We have a psychologist on retainer that we work with, so even if they can't get to that all-important mental health evaluation appointment for their disability benefits, we'll come out and do that on the street for them.
Wow, that is fantastic. And that's super practical. And you guys maybe see her team out and about. If you're around here in downtown, they always have the...
I hope you do, otherwise they're in trouble.
yeah, exactly. I know I see them every day. So talk about some recent national attention that you and your charity have been getting, because I think that's a big deal, certainly for funding and for growing the organization.
So I actually was just featured in People magazine. Great on the gross cover, yeah. So it's featured in People magazine. I was one of 3 finalists for the Red Bandana Hero Award. So Wells Crowther is a gentleman that died in the 9/11 attacks, and he wore a red bandana that he'd carried his whole life, and so saved a bunch of people. And people didn't know who he was, but just remembered the man in the red bandana. So his family created this foundation to honor him and everyday heroes. So I was one of 3 finalists nationally. And they came out, they met with me, I did an interview for People, and then I was featured in a TV show, which is not awkward at all. I had a camera crew following me for a couple days, and so we were on the American Heroes channel last weekend.
Very cool, very cool. So so make sure, where can people still find that? Is
that one actually is still out in newsstands. They have this is the older one, this is October 30th, but it's still available out and
what
around
about the TV
town.
show? Is there a way to see that online?
I don't know. You're the American Heroes buff. I'm talking to my husband.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Well,
it's on the American
we'll
Heroes
find
channel.
It. Maybe we'll put it up on our website. And,
we have
the
little vignette teaser that they gave me with just my little talking. A little bit of it is on our YouTube.
Okay,
so
fantastic.
yeah, I'll post that link.
Caridad's YouTube page. Perfect. So do you have any? I'm sure working the streets all the time, and Vegas is such a unique place, and Fremont Street is a very unique place. Do you have any favorite or funny memories, stories from your work in downtown?
I do. Actually, this is not about downtown Las Vegas, but I used to do this in San Diego as well. And we had a client, Martha. Martha was interesting. But Martha was a hoarder on the streets, was always getting arrested. She would scream, throw a fit, everything. But so they released her from jail to my custody, and part of the agreement was we'd get her housed, we'd get her ID and everything, and as long as she was doing all that, she wouldn't go back to jail. But if she violated it, she would go back to jail. So I have my college intern with me, and she's in the back seat, and she starts screaming and threatening to hit me, and that she wants to get out. And so I whip the car over and start to call 911, and she calms down and says, you know what, I'll calm down. I said, do you want to go to jail? She says, no. I said, okay. So we start driving again. She starts screaming again. I whip over again. I literally have the 9 and the 1 out, and all of a sudden, okay, I'm sorry. And I said, okay, well, what are you not going to do in my car? She said, I'm not going to scream. I said, okay. I said, do you want to go to jail, or do you want to go get your ID today? I go, you pick. I go, and that'll make the call. I'll go get my ID. Okay, fine. So she started to yell again, and I turned up, this is really mean, I turned up the volume as loud as it would go on my radio. and because she has sensitive hearing, I do too, but I was trying to prove a point. And she was mad, but she didn't yell. And so I look in back, and she said, she's got her hands over her ears, and she said, this really hurts. I said, I don't care. I like this song. I'm going to listen to it all the way to the DMV. And I look over, and my poor intern is looking at me like this. So we went all the way, got everything taken care of, and I ran into her on meds, fully housed, looking great, like a couple months down the road. And she was getting something at one of the shelters. And I said, oh, are you here at the shelter? She said, no, I'm housed still. And I said, oh. She's like, yeah, but somebody asked me about you. And I said, do not step up to her. I said, why? And she said, I told him you're crazy. You're crazier than all of us on the streets.
And that's what it takes, right? That's what it
Sometimes.
takes. You want to help somebody, just be a little crazier than they are. That's awesome. Well, tell people here, we have people here who pray, and that's a part of their life. How can they pray for your charity and anything specific or maybe in general?
Sure. Well, staffing is not my strong suit. I love to do and whatever, so administration is not my strong suit. So pray for me as a leader, because I'm trying to find a good balance and a good team, really, so that I can do less. So I would pray that you would pray for my leadership and wisdom in that, and picking a new team. But then also for my team. We go out daily, and it's hard on them. They see a lot of really horrible things and a lot of injustices really within the system, where they're fighting the red tape, and they're fighting on behalf of the clients, and it gets to them too. And we see some yuck stories and some sad, yucky stuff even with our families here locally. So just pray for the team as they go through that daily, that they would be protected, but also that they would have the strength to endure every day and just finish their job and do it well. They really, really care, so I see how it affects them.
Absolutely. Well, thank you, Meredith. Let's give a warm round of applause for Meredith. Thank you for your time.